Ladies and gentlemen, I am Yuzril. The game is World of Warships. It is the 21st of August 2017. It is 2100 British Summer Time, 2000 Universal Coordinated Time, something in the afternoon if you're in the United States, and everyone else can do their own maths. Welcome, one and all, to Shipstream. First and foremost, however, we have got a little ritual to observe. You'll note I have got 15,500 XP stacked up today. That means there are some containers to collect, and that means that the random number god must be propitiated, satiated, sacrificed to. This is a gnome, ladies and gentlemen. He's called Lootbait. Say hello, Lootbait. Yes, indeed. He is a happy gnome, a happy summoner of demons, and unfortunately he has also just jumped off a guard tower. A rather tall guard tower. And now he's dead. Well, never mind, he has served his purpose. The random number god has been sacrificed too. Let us see what the boxes have in them. So, first container, we shall of course try our luck. We tried it with goblins last time. It didn't work. Didn't work this time either. However, we have a second roll of the dice. Let's go. So, track again, and try your luck a second time. Nope. Apparently I need to sacrifice more gnomes. Or maybe build more pylons. That's entirely possible as well. Alright. Pop box 1. Well, I suppose free XP is always good because, of course, Nelson is coming down the line in the next few days, and I don't have enough free XP to get her. Not by a long shot. As for the second box, yeah, more flags. What do you know, 40% of a Kraken, I'll take it. That's what, a couple of tentacles? Maybe the body? Yeah, it's not a whole Kraken, but it's all to the good. So, this, of course, is Nelson, and she is still technically work in progress. So, the work in progress icon is in play. Remember, there may only be a couple of days until this ship goes live and on sale, for want of a better term, but everything is still open to change. So, what do we have? Well, they haven't changed the guns or the turrets. They can't, really. The superstructure, in fact, they haven't really changed her at all in the last few weeks. We're just going to have a few games, take her out. I may have quietly stuck a secondary spec 10-pointer in her, but I'll say this much. The secondaries aren't what you'd call brilliant. The 152mm guns, KU do get quite a few of them, 6 barrels aside. The problem is, well, they kind of fire armor piercing, which is problematic, and they have an 11-second reload. You do get 320mm guns aside, and they do fire high explosive, but again, you only get 3 of them. So honestly, this is probably not the optimal build for her. But it might be funny if anyone decides to get close, because that's normally where British battleships don't do too well. Hello, Louisiana, by the way, and the other one viewer currently watching this stream. I have got to start doing better publicity for this thing. Right. Also, why am I having frame rate problems? Bandwidth is fine. Is there anyone experiencing a frame rate issue, or is that purely my side? That is slightly worrying. The bandwidth tests were doing absolutely fine. And now everything's okay. Let's drop back, and all of a sudden the frame rate tanks. I need to know, guys, is that showing in Twitch? Because I can't really judge it from this end. Right, okay, in which case we're just going to crank a couple of settings down. We'll drop it to... We'll lose the anisotropic filtering, I think. That's overkill. Apply that. Okay, that helped slightly. 30 frames a second, but it's still yoinking all over the place. You know what, let's just crank the settings down to high. Switch it all over. And there we go. It's a bit happier now. One of these days, the big world engine will properly support SLI. However, now that that is fixed, we are in a good position to start getting back onto what we were talking about in the first place, namely Nelson. As I said, the secondaries are not brilliant. The main battery, well, 16-inch guns at tier 7. The big 7's British member, along with her sister ship Rodney, is of course always welcome. Anti-air is pretty decent. 35 20mm Oerlikons, 6x8 Bofors. Yeah, well, sorry, they're Vickers 2-pounders, so they're 40mm guns, but they're nowhere near as good. On the other hand, I can only assume an orc designed that gun turret setup. I mean, who sticks 8 40mm barrels on a single mounting and then puts 6 of them on a ship? It's just a pity that the range is garbage and the DPS is lackluster. Still, it's a good sound and light show, and of course the 120mm guns are dual purpose. Just a shame about the 6 inches. Manoeuvrability, of course, 750-meter turning circle, reasonable for a tier 7 battleship. A speed of 24 knots is well, it's on the slow side, let's be honest here. About the only thing slower than it is the Colorado. The Nagato, I believe, does 27, give or take. And, of course, you've got Scharnhorst running around at 30, plus, possibly more. Concealment, however, well, 14.8 on baseline. Jack, of course, does not have Concealment Expert. He's got manual secondaries instead, because he is British and therefore he is manly. Fight me. Fight me if you disagree. Mind you, someone probably is going to end up disagreeing and fighting me over it. You know what? I have waffled enough. Let's just get into a battle, get this show on the road, and see where we go. So, 10 battleships, 9 cruisers, no aircraft carriers. Yes! That will be most gratifying. Let's see where we end up. Quite possibly in a semi-decent matchup. Tier 7, of course, does get rather kind matchmaking, thanks to the population dearth from Tier 4 and 5 protected. Well, Tier 4's protected matchmaking knocking on to Tier 5. We have got New York, a couple of Gneisenau's, and a Colorado. And then we've got victims, and only one torpedo boat to worry about, one T-22. And it's domination in estuary. So, you know how this goes, ladies and gentlemen. Down one flank. Full ahead, straight into the enemy. And get Nelson to where she does her best work, around about 10 to 12 kilometers. And yes, for once I actually remember to load the premium damage control. Even if you have to scrape down the back of the sofa for that 22,500 credits, ladies and gentlemen, I highly recommend that you never leave port without it. And if you don't have 22,500 credits, I don't know, maybe you were spending it on port slots, although I don't think they take that as currency, well, go, I don't know, farm a couple of low-tier games until you do. How do you even get yourself that bankrupt anyway? Have you been blowing it all on co-op games? Ugh, I don't even pretend to understand how you could do that, but I'm sure somebody will enlighten me at some point. Alright, the only problem, of course, is that this ship does 24 knots, and she's not a handy accelerator, so it takes a while to get anywhere. Okay, it's not as bad as the Colorado at 21 knots. Who thought that was a good speed for a battleship in 1935, honestly? Ugh, someone in the American, what was it, Bureau of Construction needed to be taken out and actually told to go somewhere at 21 knots on an ocean. Preferably home, having been dropped on the other side of the Pacific in a raft with no supplies. That would have solved the whole problem very, very quickly, possibly because you got yourself a new designer. Okay, some good news. The T-22 is down on the other side of the map, and he is about to enter our T-22 and an Emile Bertin. Of course, Emile is about to run into a Fiji, which is less good news, and we appear to have started a lemming train because all bar one of the battleships are coming this way. On the bright side, we have got the Belfast, so while Little Miss Fun and Balanced is doing her stuff over there, I tell a lie, the Gneisenau bagged the Fiji. That was unexpected. So, while the surprise party is going on over at Point A, we can have ourselves a rather less surprising party over at Point D. And if the Belfast and Dagasa will be a little less greedy on their caps, yeah, we'll see what we can get. Nelson's other big problem is that she does not have a spotter plane. In fact, she doesn't have any kind of aircraft, which means that trying to get line of sight over, say, these intervening and rather inconsiderate scions of Notza is awkward. Although I have just about got it. There we go, rounds out. Probably going to miss. Did rearrange a sizable chunk of the geography, but let's see where they end up. Come on, come on, come on. Boom. Okay, one wake-up call to New York, and we're even going to bag a little bit of cap action as well. Hello, Congo. That, by the way, is unhappy emo Congo, not happy tea-loving Congo des. There is a difference. Oh, hello, Omaha. Are you going to live long enough for me to get a shot? Probably not, but we'll try it anyway. If nothing else, we can rearrange the wreckage. And another mountain. And the wreckage. Yoink. Sigma's still decent on the low-tier British battleships. The only one to get a nerf at the moment that I'm aware of is Conqueror, and even that's only being knocked back to 1.9. So rounds generally go where you aim them. Of course, that's potentially problematic in the other direction, because if you can't aim, and Lord knows I can't aim, you have a little bit of problem in that the random number god will not reach out and give your shells a friendly nudge. Of course, this isn't a Russian ship, so it wasn't going to do that anyway. Hello, New York. Note there's still a Notza in the way. Come on. Come on. Can somebody get the middies to get out and push? It might help. Marginally. Ooh. Hello, Froggy. Let's see. Coming this way at top speed. If we drop about 800 meters ahead. And then give them the good news. Only 6 rounds, but we can adjust for the other 3 in a second. Dropped behind, so we actually need to give them about 900 meters lead. And oh, hello, Belfast. Well, we'll exploit the smoke briefly, I think. Just turn in. 3 overpens on the Froggy, so about 900 meters of lead was what was needed there. Okay, well, he's probably still closing. And he's probably about to try for torpedoes. No, I tell her he's trying for broadside. That is not a wise idea, mademoiselle. Not when you're in front of this many battleships. On the other hand, maybe she did just realise... like I said, I can't shoot straight. Aim a bit high this time. Who wants to bet this causes the other problem? Rounds out, rounds down, and... singed his tail feathers egg. Yeah. God damn it. Will you put the graviton cannons away? Ugh. Right. Let's go abuse New York. At least I can hit these on a good day. Alright. Aim up, target waterline, adjust for about 20 knots, and fire. Again, didn't quite click the number 3 target, but it doesn't matter because he's firing himself. Brake, 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 turn in, turn in, turn in. And soaked a couple. 3 shot. Angled main belt, of course, which is problematic. Oh, hello, Emerald. Excuse me, just adjust for angle. Get the line on the spider web. Fire. Completely guessing my lead there, and this is probably going to go horribly wrong, but at least it gives me a rough ranging idea. Oh, straddles. Okay, we'll try that again with the other 2 turrets. And then there's another Emile on its way back. The nice thing about the fact that the enemy went for A to start with... Ooh, yes! Ha ha ha! It's just a pity that you, don't get yourself any accolades in test ships. Okay, the Leander is probably going to die before I can reload, so you know what? We'll have ourselves some Frenchie. Bonjour, mademoiselle. You are showing the broadside. That is unwise. Most unwise, in fact, and here's why. Rounds out, rounds down. 5 overpens. Like I said, my aim in battleships is appalling. One of the reasons I tend to prefer carriers and destroyers, and of course Minotaur and Atlanta, because they just make up for it with raw Dakar. Okay, let's see. He's trying to angle. It is not going to save him. Rounds out, rounds down. Completely miss. Anyway, secondaries, do your stuff, boys. We're going to... No, we're not even going to secure the kill. Now, the question is, did he get any torpedoes off? Does it matter? No, not really, because I don't think he was in range, and he probably didn't have a launch solution on me anyway, but we'll turn in just to make sure that if he did somehow get a launch solution, it's foxed. Meanwhile, the Leander has gotten away from my teammates. Curse you, New York. Oh, there's a T-22. Well, this is total guesswork, but let's try it anyway. That is about as bad as Scatter ever gets on a British salvo, by the way, and straddles again. Of course, straddles. Is there anyone left alive? Yes, and they're all over at A. Right, somebody put the T on. It might take a while to get over to them. Oh, hello, Leander, you? Nope, Knots is in the way again. Of course. Well, he's not going to last very long. In fact, there we go. I told you he wasn't going to last very long. Not under the guns of a New York and ooh, that was some nasty torpedo action there. Still, Slyfox can probably heal the worst of it. Unfortunately, I think he's flooding, and I don't think he's got Damcon. So, New York, it's going to go down. So, unfortunately, it is our Congo. So that, I think, was just flooding from Emil, which is why I didn't get any torpedoes. He'd emptied his tubes earlier. And if Slyfox can't find himself a repair party in the next 2 seconds, yeah, that happens. Oops. Well, at least the British went down swinging. Best glorious tradition of Her Majesty's Navy. Speaking of which, let's swing the guns over to port. And this is Nelson's other party piece. Unlike the other all-forward battleship, Izumo, her sea turret actually rotates forwards. It is a sensible design. What do you expect from the nation that put out the best battleships in the world? Cough, cough. That's the line, and we're sticking to it. Honest. Now, is that tea ready? Possibly. Possibly not. Alright, just go past the Congo, pick up the Survivor, or at least retrieve the core, and, well, she can build herself a new body in time for the next game. And then we'll just push on forwards, and if we're really, really lucky, there'll be some enemies left by the time we're done. Or at least by the time we get back round to point B. This is the real problem with, well, most low-tier battleships, to be honest, but the British and the Americans are particularly prone to it. 24 knots really ain't that fast. So if, as in this situation, you find yourself out of position, either because everyone went over the other side of the map, or simply because you ran out of enemies to bully, it's going to take you a long while to get back into the action. The R-Class, anyone? I am not sure. We do not have them in the tech line. They may appear as a premium. Certainly, HMS Revenge has some historical significance. Granted, that's because she was on the wrong end of the Japanese at the same engagement that sank Prince of Wales, who we'll come to later on. But I think we might see them as premiums. Maybe not high priority premiums, though. The Dreadnought and Vanguard are the two obvious choices for that. Hello, Nalby. Good to see you again. Always good to see subscribers. All 3 of them. So, we might see the R-Class, but I really wouldn't hold your breath waiting for them. And on the bright side, it looks as though there are actually going to be some enemies to shoot at. We are just about in range of Kronton's Gnomish now. What's left of it. Extreme range with the armor piercing, so we'll fire 1 salvo of that, then we'll load the high explosive. While we're doing that, of course, we have the other British battleship party piece. High explosive. Yeah, the high explosive on these things penetrates 1/4 the standard caliber instead of 1/6 as is normal. So a 406mm gun will penetrate just over 101mm of armor, which is kind of handy. Let's see how he likes another salvo. Remember, this is kill securing, not kill stealing. Or it would be if I could actually hit anything. Round down they come. 3 hits and end of game. I'm not sure if anyone actually got him or not. Certainly it wasn't me. And there we go. So 1 kill, thanks mostly to a couple of lucky citadels into an Emerald's deck. And 1,000 XP, of course, the Belfast took pride of place on that one. Okay, let's get this going again. Give Nelson another go. Best battleships in the world? Probably not. But look, allow us a little oh, God. Well, this is a considerably less friendly matchmake, isn't it? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. 2 Tirpitzes and a Bismarck. And a Scharnhorst. I am not getting close to those guys. We have got multiple no-fun zones out to 11.3 kilometres. Oh boy, and it's domination, which means, of course, that we kind of need to push forwards and simultaneously don't want to. So you know what, Tirpitz, you just... off you go, Schleswig-Holstein. If you wish to uphold the Kaiser's glory, then I will not stop you at all. Stunt you another 4k base XP? Ugh. Well, I'm not even bothering with the Nelson event, to be perfectly frank. I still haven't got a Missouri, so... I am going to have to take the long road to those 2 ships, I suspect. Penance, I suppose, for getting to play with them early. Oh well, the price we pay. Still, that said, if you have got 375,000 free XP to burn, then you know what? She's worth it. She is a fun little ship. And I should not be blitzing forward, even at her rather leisurely full speed. So we'll just move forward at a head 1/2 instead. We'll let the Germans take point. That's what they're there for, after all. There we go. He has raised some steam, so life is good. Also, was that a Scharnhorst flag? Well, that's Scharnhorst's crest, certainly. Can't make out the legend here. Could be Wilhelmshaven, but it's the wrong crest for Wilhelmshaven. So, let's see. Hello, stunt, by the way. Alright. Forwards, forwards, forwards. Ooh, we have a Belfast to bully. Can I get a shot? No. Because there is a dirty red island in the way. Curse you not, sir. Curse you. Yeah. That Belfast has absolutely got to go. And it looks like everyone else just had the same idea. This is what you get for taking a Belfast into a game. You end up popular. Really popular. With the enemy gunnery officers. Mind you, that's why they gave the Belfast smoke, isn't it? And radar. And hydro. As KCS is rapidly discovering... Oh, come on, my friend. You knew the Belfast was over there. You know the smoke is not going to save you for more than a few seconds. Actually, why is he still alive? Has that Belfast seriously not popped its radar? Or does he just somehow think that torpedoes and the 2 enemy destroyers were going to do the job for him? I do not understand that for one instant, and I don't care. Let's close up. We have a cruiser to bully first of all, although we may need to take out that Minsk rather rapidly, or Casey's going to be in trouble. Then again, can he get his torpedoes away? Yes, he can, but it's a mutual wipeout. Okay, well, at least the Minsk is gone. Of course, we did trade a destroyer for it, which leaves us with a Gallant and a Shiratsu. On the other hand, we do know where the Farragut is. On the other problem is, of course, the Farragut is kind of in point B, which is what I'm sailing towards. This may not be the wisest thing I've ever done. I have no hydro, I have no radar, I do not even have hillbilly hydro in the shape of a spotter plane or a cat fighter. So I am basically hoping I can get a shot on the Belfast with my first broadside, then reload Hayeks and take out the Farragut. Of course, since I'm detected, well, that could be coming off point A. I don't think it is, however. No, the Belfast... it might have been. The Belfast and the Farragut aren't in position, certainly. There was a brief salvo of Hayeks. Aiming a bit short, however... And he got his elevation a bit wrong as well. Right, lock guns onto the Farragut. Let's at least introduce him to some 16-inch gunfire. And I don't care if that was only armor piercing. I'll take it. Oh, that high signal. Sometimes it does pay in your favour. Both enemy destroyers now out of the picture. Oh my god. That's an awful, awful lot of enemy guns. Little bit of torpedo beat, and oh hello New Orleans. Right, remember what I was saying about 406mm guns on high X being able to penetrate 100mm of plate? Yeah. Let's just introduce Newsy to the error of her ways, shall we? Also, let's turn away before we... Nope, my aim is about to reassert itself. Still, I'll take 2 fires. And pop a heal as well, just break away. I do not want to tangle with 2 tier 8 battleships in any tier 7, and especially not when they've got cruiser backup and Lord knows what else over there waiting for me. So we're just gonna nope out of here. Like so. Get angled. Lock on to that Cleveland. Switch back to armor piercing for the next volley, but I'm not going to waste the shells in the breach. So, hello Cleveland. Have some 16-inch to remember me by. Especially since your 6-inch is probably quite determined to do the same. Rounds coming down. 1 hit. 1 poxy hit. Ugh. Battleships are not my thing. Got some decent angling. It's not stopping me taking a pounding from those 15 inches. And of course the Cleveland's got his own ideas with all that high explosive. Oi, quit it! Am I a super tester? A little busy to answer that question at the moment. I am mostly being shot at. Oh, there's a Belfast. Come here. Come here. That's right. Just stay broadside for a little longer. Ow. Yeah, that whole stay at long range thing in the Nelson, they are not kidding on the Wargaming page. Yeah, that was an awful lot of firepower. In fact, I think that was most of the enemy team focusing me down. Now, I've got a few seconds to answer his questions here. Community contributor. Also sunk. So, that solves that. Right, let's have a quick look at the rest of the game. So, most of the enemy went for A and B, which is kind of handy. We've wiped out their destroyers. They have, of course, taken out a battleship. Gah. And, well, now we have the detection advantage. Unfortunately, they have still got that Belfast, which means that the radar is still in play. Such a weird-looking ship. I'm sorry, weird-looking? Unconventional is the term you're looking for. Although, if this Scharnhorst doesn't figure out what his W and S keys are for, he is about to get a very interesting test. Actually, no, I think we might be about to see the rare reverse torpedo beat. Maybe, yep, there we are, reverse torpedo beating, all skill, no luck. Let's see what else is happening on. Meanwhile, the Mogami got a bit too close to the cluster of doom and paid the price, but Mac is on fire again, and I don't think he has got Damcon. So he's popped a repair party to contain it, but he's still not in a great position, especially since little Miss Ichiban Khan here is working her way round, and as one of, well, 2 surviving destroyers, yeah, she's going to have herself some fun. So let's see what Schnortz is aiming for. Looks like he's eyeing up targets, trying to decide between either putting Mac down, which he could do with 1, maybe 2 decent spreads, and he's going to be able to come at Mac from an unexpected angle. Not that it really matters, because Schleswig-Holstein puts down the pretender to the glory of the Kaiserschlachtmarine. Which leaves Schnorch trying to get up to this cluster. Of course, he has just spotted the Belfast. Now, this is potentially problematic for him, because if Tarex is thinking... Let's just snap back for a second. That's what I'm looking for. Because if Tarex is thinking, Tarex is going to realise very quickly that the only possible way anyone can have line of sight to him is if they're off to his left. Which means that he will suspect a destroyer has worked its way around the flank. Schnortz has launched torpedoes, 1 tight spread down what I assume was the TDC bearing, and a 2nd wider spread just in case. Of course, that tight spread is now going to miss hopelessly. Turrex is coming round, but this widespread might just clip him, although I think he's going to be very, very dicey for range, given that Shiratsu's torpedoes cap out at 10 kilometers. Valkyries in the Algerie has also engaged and is looking for some action. He's not having much. Ooh, that was multiple citadels. Turrex has also spotted the... No, he hasn't spotted the torpedoes. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Turrex, is your Hydra about to fail you? And the answer is yes, it is. So the Belfast is gone, no doubt much to Schnortz's pleasure. Meanwhile, over on the left-hand side, the cluster is slowly being whittled down. Team Green are one ship up. They are about to go two ships up as the nuke has overextended and is finding himself hammered down by Matsgun and, again, Schleswig-Holstein in the two turpses. Schleswig has taken a bit of a hit. He's popped a repair party, gradually hauling himself up past 50%. Meanwhile, over in Point A, there ain't no party like a smoke party, ladies and gentlemen. Adikari in the Fossor, Oldfinger in the Gallant, and of course Furcon in our other German battleship, the Bismarck, and it's Furcon who's getting the worst of it at the moment. He is, however, dishing out just as much as he can give, and he's locked on to shuffle tunes at the moment. Not a great shot for main batteries, however, but he is, by the looks of it, arming High X. So, what's he going to be able to do when his main batteries reload? Because he's going to have to decide whether to hit the Scharnhorst. There we go. Main battery armor piercing into the Scharnhorst. Most of it, unfortunately, catching either a bounce or failing to penetrate, so not much damage there. Schleswig bounces his third kill of the game, hammering the New Orleans into the ground. And we have got another torpedo launch from Schnortz, just popping out a few more salvos. Null 1982 is pinned. He's got nowhere to go, but he can basically go bow on. Not that that's going to help him very much against the sheer avalanche of Dakar that Furcon is unleashing. However, Oldfinger there taking an extremely ballsy move, dumping multiple torpedoes, one conventional spread and then narrow sniper shots to try to finish, and succeeding in finishing Gull 1982 Scharnhorst. Didn't fire his guns, so he disappears back into concealment, but he may have left it a little late. High X comes down, but lands short of him thanks to some evasives. Another smoke cloud out. Furcon very grateful, doubtless, for that. Ooh, he was lucky not to take a superstructure hit there. That was coming in from multiple rounds, but the high explosive does find him. Doug does 203mm guns, finishing him off, and all of a sudden the heavy support on both sides is looking rather vulnerable. Burke 83 and Gregorz, well, they're about to get a very nasty surprise because Gregor's cat fighter will have spotted that torpedo spread from Schnorch. Not that's going to hit very much, but he might get lucky with Gregorz if Gregor isn't paying attention. There's one torpedo there, the second in, that might do it, but Gregor's seen it. He's turning, drops on the brakes, and manages to dodge. And then Burke is just flat out of range. Schnorch probably getting very, very frustrated right about now. And that is pretty much it. It's down to a Bismarck, a Cleveland, and one rather battered Artago. Just about hanging on with duct tape and happy thoughts. And, well, let's be honest here. It's going to be a curb stomp from here on in. They've got no destroyers left. The Artago is having real trouble getting back into concealment. In fact, he's failing miserably, and he really needs to disappear right now. Not going to happen though, since he just fired his main batteries at Matskun. And now he's turned broadside, whether that's trying for a torpedo launch, just a last bit of spite. But you know what? It's not going to help him because, well, he's out of torpedo range. Artago's torpedoes cap out at 10. And, well, that's him well and truly pun. Meanwhile, remember what I was saying about torpedoes? Yeah, Bismarck there might just eat that last one. On fire, eats a torpedo in the stern, so almost certainly flooding. Instant damcon to clear both status effects. But, well, with that much high explosive pointed at him from the south, he's going to be on fire again sooner rather than later. However, Schnorch has gotten a little bit greedy. He's fired his guns. inside of 11 kilometers of Bismarck, which means that the no-fun zone is now in full effect. The secondaries are locking on. Berg is on fire again, but he is trying to get some last-minute vengeance. It's not going to change anything, however, because that is game over and a win for Team Green. We'll just gloss over my part of that. So, Nelson, ladies and gentlemen, not a great bruiser. Honestly, as you can just see, she is not what you'd call a particularly tanky ship if you get focused, especially if you get focused by higher tier battleships. We'll just take a quick look at her armour layout. Okay, she's got torpedo bulges, 32 mils, bow plating is 25, that's standard tier 7. We'll just do a quick little striptease. Main belt, 356 millimeters. That is... honestly, it's not brilliant. It's not bad, but you are going to have to rely on some very good angling if another battleship decides it wants a piece. And why has the frame rate just gone wonky again, damn it?